Have you ever wondered why so many men lose their firmness as they age, even when their testosterone levels look normal and their heart seems healthy? In my clinic, I meet men in their 50s, 60s, even 70s who whisper the same worry, "Doctor, why can't I stay hard the way I used to?" And I can tell you, it's not always about hormones and it's not always about blood flow. The hidden truth is something almost no one talks about. It's your pelvic floor muscles. These deep, invisible muscles act like a natural ring that traps blood inside the penis and keeps an erection strong. But just like any muscle in your body, if you don't train them, they weaken. And when they weaken, no amount of desire or energy can fully make up for it. That's why men who think the problem is only in their mind or only in their testosterone often feel frustrated because the real issue is left untreated. But here's the good news. With the right training, these muscles can come back to life. I've watched patients who thought they had lost all hope, regain control, rebuild confidence, and even tell me that their relationships feel renewed simply by strengthening these hidden muscles. Today, I'm going to guide you through 5 of the most powerful pelvic exercises I prescribe in my practice exercises. Any man can do at home without equipment. And stay with me because the last exercise is the one almost every man skips, and yet it's the game changer that can turn everything around. When men first come to me, many of them admit something that feels almost embarrassing. They say, "Doctor, I can get started, but I can't stay firm." One of my patients, a 62-year-old retired firefighter, had this exact problem. His heart was strong, his testosterone levels looked fine, but he felt like his body betrayed him. What shocked him most was the answer: his pelvic floor muscles had simply grown weak. Think of the pelvic floor like the lock on a dam. When the lock is strong, blood stays inside the penis, just like water stays in a reservoir. When the lock weakens, no matter how much water you pour in, it leaks out. Research in the International Journal of Impotence Research shows that men who train these muscles can increase erection hardness by up to 40%. That's not a small number. That's the difference between frustration and confidence. The first move I teach is called the pelvic tilt. It looks deceptively simple, but it trains your lower abs and pelvic floor to fire together, which is the secret sauce for lasting firmness. Here's how I guide my patients. Lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat. Relax your arms at your sides. Then imagine pulling your belly button gently toward your spine while pressing your lower back into the floor. Hold for a few seconds, then release with control. It feels like ironing out the curve under your back, but what you're really doing is waking up muscles that have been asleep for decades. Most men start with 10 to 12 perfect reps. At first, it feels like nothing is happening, but within a couple of weeks, they describe a new awareness. "Doctor, I can actually feel where those muscles are now." That's the breakthrough moment, because once a man can feel and control those muscles on command, he can start locking blood inside his erection instead of watching it slip away. The beauty of this exercise is that it doesn't just build strength, it builds body awareness. Physical therapists call it proprioception, the ability to sense and control muscles consciously. And that awareness alone is enough to turn hesitation into control and control into confidence. But let me be clear, while the pelvic tilt is powerful, it's only the foundation. On its own, it won't give you the flexibility or endurance you need for peak performance. That's why the next exercise is so crucial, because it takes this new muscle awareness and combines it with a stretch that rewires your pelvic floor for both strength and freedom. One of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking that strength alone will solve everything. I remember a patient in his late 50s who told me, "Doctor, I've been doing crunches and sit-ups for months, but nothing has changed. What he didn't realize is that his muscles weren't just weak, they were tight, locked up like rusted hinges. That kind of stiffness strangles blood flow and makes it impossible for the pelvic floor to contract and relax when it should. That's where the prone stretch comes in. On the outside, it looks almost too easy. You lie face down, resting on your forearms, lifting your chest slightly as if you were reading a book on the floor, but inside your body, something remarkable happens. By gently pulling the belly button in toward the spine and lightly contracting the pelvic floor, you're creating a balance most men have never trained before, strength paired with flexibility. Think of it this way: your pelvic floor isn't just a switch that turns on during intimacy. It's more like a shock absorber in a car. If it's too tight, the ride is stiff and painful. If it's too loose, there's no support. The prone stretch retrains this system, teaching your core and pelvic muscles to work together with just the right balance. Studies on core stability confirm that combining contraction with stretching improves circulation and muscle endurance far more than contraction alone. Patients who practice this move daily often reported unexpected benefits. Back pain eased, their posture straightened, and most importantly, they felt a stronger mind-body connection in moments of intimacy. One man told me it felt like upgrading from a flickering light bulb to a steady beam. His body finally responded the way he wanted without hesitation. Start by holding the position for 20 to 30 seconds, focusing on deep breathing. Over time, build up to a minute. The goal isn't to strain, but to unlock. Because once these deep tissues let go of years of tension, blood can surge in freely, fueling firmness and stamina in ways no pill can replicate. But here's the twist: strength and flexibility are only half the story. To truly gain control, you need to link your breathing with your deepest core muscles, a skill that turns raw power into endurance. And that's exactly what the next exercise teaches. If the prone stretch teaches balance, the next step is teaching control. One of my patients, a 55-year-old accountant, once said, "Doctor, I feel like my body has a mind of its own. Sometimes I last, sometimes I don't." That feeling of being out of control is terrifying for many men, and it almost always comes back to one thing: the inability to consciously engage the pelvic floor when it matters most. This is why I introduce the kneeling AB draw-in. It may look like a simple yoga move, but what's happening inside is far more powerful. You start on all fours: shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, back, flat, and neutral. Then you exhale, slowly pulling your belly button toward your spine as if flattening your stomach against an invisible wall. At the same moment, you gently lift the pelvic floor, the same subtle squeeze as if you were stopping urine mid-flow. What makes this exercise different is the link between breath core and control. I think of it like syncing the software with the hardware. Breathing is your signal, your pelvic floor is the receiver, and your brain learns to fire them in perfect rhythm. Research on diaphragmatic breathing and pelvic floor activation shows it not only improves muscle endurance, but also increases erectile rigidity by strengthening the neuromuscular pathway. Men who practice this move daily often describe a breakthrough. That same accountant returned after 3 weeks and told me for the first time I can feel exactly when those muscles engage. I'm not guessing anymore, I'm in charge. That sense of mastery is priceless because it gives you the ability to delay climax when you want and maintain firmness under pressure. Start with 10 controlled reps, holding each contraction for 3 to 5 seconds. As endurance builds, extend it to 7 or even 10 seconds. The key isn't speed, but precision, quality over quantity. Once mastered, you can even shift your weight slightly forward or back to challenge different fibers, turning this simple move into a dynamic tool for staying power. But here's the catch: control without power still leaves you vulnerable. To hold firmness during real intimacy, your body needs raw strength and stability from bigger muscle groups working alongside the pelvic floor. And that's exactly what the next exercise unlocks. Control is powerful, but without raw strength, it can collapse under pressure. I remember a patient in his early 60s, a former construction worker who told me, "Doctor, I can feel the muscles now, but it's like they give up halfway through." What he was missing wasn't awareness, it was stability. His pelvic floor was trying to do all the work alone without backup from the larger muscles designed to support it. That's why I teach the bridge abduction. It's one of the most effective ways to combine the pelvic floor with your glutes, the largest and most metabolically active muscles in your body. Here's how it works. You lie on your back, bend your knees, plant your feet, and lift your hips into a straight line from shoulders to knees. This is your bridge. From there, you gently push your knees outward as if spreading the floor apart, then bring them back with control. What happens here is more than exercise, it's teamwork. The pelvic floor contracts to hold blood inside the penis, while the glutes and hip abductors act like auxiliary pumps, driving fresh circulation into the region. Studies published in Journal of Sexual Medicine show that men who strengthen their glutes experience measurable improvements in erectile function precisely because stronger glutes boost pelvic blood flow. Men who stick to this routine often report changes that go far beyond the bedroom. That construction worker I mentioned, after 6 weeks, his lower back pain eased, his hips felt stronger, and during intimacy, he no longer felt wobbly. Instead, he described it as having a foundation solid, unshakable, and reliable. That's exactly what this exercise builds: a fortress of stability beneath the pelvic floor. Start with 8 to 10 reps, holding each outward push for a couple of seconds. Over time, aim for 15 to 20 reps or add a resistance band above the knees for even greater activation. The key is form. Keep the hips lifted, the core engaged, and the motion smooth. Each repetition is teaching your body not just to get hard, but to stay hard under movement and pressure. But here's what most men miss: strength and stability are still not the final step, because if the pelvic floor is carrying hidden tension, all that power can backfire, restricting blood flow instead of enhancing it. And that's why the last exercise is the true game changer. It releases what's locked and transforms strength into lasting freedom. By the time most men reach this stage, they've built awareness, flexibility, and strength. But here's the hidden danger I see again and again in my clinic: too much tension. A man can be strong, yet still struggle because his pelvic floor is clenched like a fist that never opens. That tension is like a tourniquet choking off blood flow right when he needs it most. I'll never forget one patient, a 59-year-old teacher, who said, "Doctor, I can get hard, but it fades too quickly. It feels like my body shuts down the blood." His issue wasn't weakness, it was restriction. And the exercise that finally freed him was the rocking frog stretch. Here's how it works. You start on all fours, then slowly widen your knees into a V shape, lowering onto your forearms. Your feet turn outward, your hips sink, and immediately you feel a deep stretch in the groin and inner thighs. From there, you gently rock your hips forward and back like a slow wave moving through your pelvis. It looks simple, but inside, you're releasing years of hidden tension that most men don't even realize they carry. Think of it like oiling a rusty hinge. The more fluid the movement, the freer the blood flow. Research on pelvic mobility shows that releasing the adductor muscles and deep pelvic floor improves circulation, significantly reducing what specialists call venous leak, the very condition that causes erections to fade. And men who practice this consistently describe an almost shocking difference. That teacher returned after just 4 weeks and told me, "It feels like my body unlocked itself. I can stay hard without fighting against myself." Hold the stretch for 30 to 40 seconds. At first, breathing deeply and repeat 3 times. Over time, your hips will open, your pelvic floor will loosen, and circulation will surge more naturally. The beauty of this exercise is that it does 2 things at once. It strengthens the muscles you need while releasing the tension that's been holding you back. And this is why I call it the game changer. Because when you combine strength with release awareness with relaxation, you create the perfect balance for lasting firmness. This final move isn't just an add-on. It's the missing key that turns the entire routine from good to life-changing. But here's the most important part. All 5 of these exercises only work if you put them together consistently day after day. And that's exactly what I'll explain as we bring everything together in the conclusion. You've now seen the 5 exercises that can truly change the way your body responds, building awareness, releasing tension, and restoring strength where it matters most. The truth is, your health, your confidence, and your relationships don't have to fade with age. I've seen men in their 50s, 60s, even 70s, reclaim firmness and control they thought was gone forever simply by practicing these moves consistently. And if they can do it, so can you. I want you to remember this. It's never too late to take back control of your body. Every rep you do is an investment not only in stronger erections, but in better bladder health, improved posture, and a renewed sense of masculinity. You deserve to feel confident, capable, and connected at every stage of life. So here's my advice. Save this video, come back to it daily, and make these exercises part of your routine. Small, steady effort adds up faster than you think. And don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share it with a friend or partner who could benefit too. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss my latest men's health tips. And let me know in the comments, have you ever tried pelvic exercises before, or is this your first time hearing about them? I'd love to hear your story.